It's a video 4 years in the making, but I finally have it. The Open Pandora handheld console. I pre-ordered it back in October 2008 when the pre-orders first went live, and delay after delay after delay after delay. Finally, they're shipping, but you might have noticed that I have a silver one that also has some dust on it. It's been sitting on my table. The thing is with the silver one is they were offering a upgrade program where you could upgrade the processor to a gigahertz from the stock 600 megahertz and other things like more RAM and more processor cache and blah blah blah. So I figured I already put down like 300 and I don't even remember, it was 4 years ago. That credit card I put on doesn't even exist anymore. I think the first amount I put down was like $350, and then I put down another another $350 to get it upgraded to the 1 gigahertz model. When the upgrade program went live, mine still had not been shipped yet, and then I saw on the message boards that they were doing the upgrade system, and I was like, screw it, I've waited 4 years, might as well make sure it's good. So, yeah, I think it was worth the bit of extra cash there. So, when I got it in the mail, it was actually pretty cool. I don't know if all the Pandoras came in this, but this 1 gigahertz model came in this wooden box with the number 125 on it. I don't know what that means, because I'm pretty sure my 1 gigahertz pre-order was like 50-something in the queue, so I have no idea. But it comes in this wooden box with a lock, and it's got like red velvet inside, and really went the extra mile, I guess. This was the plastic case that the battery comes in. Not really sure why the battery comes in. I guess if you wanted to buy a spare battery and carry the spare battery around with you, you could put it in this doohickey. Battery in the Pandora is like 4,000 milliamps, so it lasts a really long time, like 10 or 11 hours of solid use. And problem with mine came with a UK charger. Yeah, I can't put this in my outlet at all. So yeah, there's that. I could probably get some kind of tip to put on here that's a US plug, but the coincidence is that you could actually use a PSP, not a PS Vita or a PSP Go charger, but a PSP charger, because it happens to be the same exact voltage and tip, so you could charge the Pandora with that, or grab yourself a mini USB cable and charge it with your computer. So there's a few different options to charge it there. And even came with this letter, basically, you know, back 2007, project started, blah, blah, gigahertz unit, hope you enjoy your Pandora, yeah, basically just thanking us for waiting this long and not asking to have our money back. So, there's that. Let me get the box out of the shot there. So, let's take a look at the Pandora console. So, it pretty much looks like a DS, for size comparison. Here's my 3DS XL. 3DS XL is a little bit taller, a little bit wider, sorry. A little bit wider, a little bit taller, but the differences are when you open it up. With 3DS, you got two screens, we're all familiar with that. With the Pandora, you get a screen that's also a touchscreen, and lots of buttons. Lots of buttons. You get a full QWERTY keyboard, dual analog sticks, control pad, which is really nice, the action buttons there, and number row up there too. Because this is pretty much a full-on Linux computer. This is pretty much if this makes sense, a portable desktop computer. It's even got a USB slot. I think it's 2.0, I think. You got your shoulder buttons up there, but issue with my shoulder buttons is one of them came broken. The R button works like it should. See? It clicks. L button. Yeah. It doesn't click. It registers presses, but it doesn't click. I emailed them about, a repair or something like that. I actually opened the thing up myself, and the actual micro switch that the plastic button hits is broken. It's not like the button's misplaced or anything like that. But I kind of have yet to hear back from them, so yeah, I'll probably follow up with them. Here's a cover where the battery goes. Without the cover, the battery's kind of loose in there, which is kind of scary. It's not loose on this end, thankfully, where the contacts actually are, so it doesn't wiggle around a lot on that end, but just kind of scares me a bit. The build quality, I don't know, I was watching Ashton's review when he got his Pandora back when, and I think he was praising the build quality. I think the build quality is so-so. I guess it feels It doesn't feel as solid as the Canoe, if you remember that handheld console. That console felt a bit more solid. And there's a stylus pen here because of the touchscreen. Dual SD card slots, power switch, volume switch, headphones, power, TV out. The TV out cable hasn't shipped yet. I ordered it. But let's go ahead and turn it on here. Watch it boot. There's open Pandora logo. There's my face. We don't need to see that, do we? Nope, boots up. Super Zaxxon's the current version there. Came with that, so I didn't have to upgrade the software or anything myself. 'Cause I think I remember reading if you have to upgrade the software, you basically end up doing a factory reset, kind of erasing everything on it. You know, not too fun. How come I don't remember it taking this long to boot up? No. Maybe it did. I don't remember. It would have probably taken longer with the 600 megahertz model. Yeah, and I made a login. Yeah, I got a password. I'm taking it off screen like it actually matters. Alright, there we go. So this is the... There's two different kinds of interfaces you can have. This is kind of the limited interface, but you can switch over to a full-on Linux desktop here. With this limited interface, everything's kind of broken up into categories. I have Firefox on there to browse the internet. Got some emulators on there. See, L button works, but I burped. Where's the brightness control on here? I don't remember. It's on the J key. Like some kind of smudge or something. Whatever. There's the brightness. You hold FN and then press the letters. There we go. A little bit visible. A little bit more visible for you. What kind of emulators I put on here? I got a DOS emulator. I got N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Mame, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, but I think I forgot to put ROMs on there. Whoopsie daisy. Here, let's boot into the full-on operating system first before we check out the emulators and whatnot. How do I switch? There we go. I'll use the nubs to... like that. The right nub, pressing up, is like a mouse click. So this is the full-on desktop that's loading up here. I like how it easily detects stuff like emulators when you put them on the SD card. As long as you put them in the right folder, and you put the ROMs in the folder the emulator tells you to, it's pretty much booted up and play. So this is... I've never actually used Linux before, so I'm probably not the right person to review it, but I've been waiting 4 years for this thing, so I might as well make a video of it one way or another. This is the start menu kind of thing, and got different thingies to click on and do. I haven't really gone through all of them because I don't really know what a lot of them are, and some of them talk about, you know, overclocking it and whatnot, and I don't want to break it, though. Yeah, you can actually, you know, put a full-on WordPad suite and whatnot in here and actually use it for a full-on computer. It's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth capability. Kind of annoying that the Wi-Fi doesn't automatically connect. Even when you put it to sleep, when you wake it up, you still have to reconnect, and I keep forgetting which buttons are which. That's the volume mixer. That's not what I'm looking for. There it is. Wi-Fi. Wireless LAN is being enabled. It's being enabled. So we can do Wi-Fi things. Is it connected? Is it? I think. Yes, didn't really... There's my neighbor's got hacked again. Guess he never changed the name. It hacks my Wi-Fi. Wait a minute. Does my Wi-Fi reach from here? Yeah, of course it does. Here. Wait a minute. Let me turn the Wi-Fi on my 3DS. Alright, Wi-Fi on. Enabled. Internet. Yeah, I got almost a full signal to my... Well, yeah, almost full. It's going between 2 and 3. Where's my Wi-Fi on here? Can't find it. Huh. I don't remember the Wi-Fi range being that bad. Alright, we don't really need Wi-Fi right now anyway. Actually, then I can't demonstrate Firefox, but I can at least open it and show you what it looks like. It's Firefox 13.0, and I'm not even sure if that double-click registered or not. I think left on the right nub's a double-click, or I'll just hit the enter key on the keyboard. There, now it's actually opening. There's the access light there. So there's our Firefox. It's pretty much a No, it is a full-on version of Firefox. I haven't played around with the add-ons and stuff. I, for the most part, just booted it up and wanted to see how well it performed with Adobe Flash, and it lagged a pretty decent amount. So there's that. I pretty much just wanted this thing for the emulators. I didn't really buy this for the Linux computer part of it, and it seems to be trying to connect to something right now. Oh, there's my Wi-Fi. Alright, it found it. Not quite sure what took so long, but whatever. Alright, so let's switch back to the other version of the user interface. Mini menu, that's what it's called. There we go. That was weird. Well, it switched over pretty quick, so I'll give it that. Let's do the Game Boy Advance emulator just because it was the closest one to select. And we'll play... Oh my god, just pick something, will you? Sonic Advance 3. The emulation's pretty much dead on. Not really any dropped frames, or the sound emulation's pretty much perfect. So yeah, it gets the job done. Definitely a working emulator, and it's pretty much flawless, really. Not much you could say, but let's give the emulator a little bit more of a challenge. How do I exit? Oh, that's right, it's spacebar that brings up the ROM list. Ugh. Okay. Let's try Super Monkey Ball Jr. Emulators don't always like that game too much. The heck? What is that? Is that part of the ROM, or is that part of the emulator? I've never seen that before. If I had to guess, it looks like it's part of the game itself. Some kind of crash screen or something. Cool, I found a hidden... Yeah, it's part of the game. There, I found a hidden crash screen in Super Monkey Ball Jr., so there's that. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Yeah, I remember this game pretty much working fine. Let's pick someone random. You know, I got the monkey. Flower Cup. Got all the buttons fully configured, except it could be a pain to use items sometimes, because L button, it works, but every now and then it seems to have a mind of its own. It seems like if I'm not pressing down on it with full force. I'm usually Yoshi. DK steering confuses my brain. Actually, it's not too bad. Gotta get the hang of power sliding again. I like Yoshi because you can go off-road and he slows down pretty much not at all, which kind of feels kind of cheap in my opinion. Sorry, Yoshi. You're always my favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit driver. Alright, so that's that. That emulator works just fine. N64 emulator. Never got it to work. I've downloaded 2 different N64 emulators. One of the emulators just crashes when you open it. This one here, that I've gotten to at least show the list of ROMs I have on there, doesn't seem to load squat. Pretty much every ROM I open just black screens for a little bit and goes back to the menu. We'll try something else. Here, we'll try the easiest game for an N64 emulator to possibly do. I heard some crackling in the speakers just now. Yep, and it froze. Alright, so let's quit. Let's try to go to the separate application for the configuration. So, it's probably... Well, the mouse controls don't work now? Whatever. Alright, so we'll use the touchscreen. It's probably something with the graphics I have to configure. Probably have to set a different plugin. No, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for... configure right here. So yeah, I could probably change the graphics plugin and see if it works better. But I can't for the life of me figure out how to get the cursor down here to hit OK or apply or whatever buttons down there to accept the change, because I can't get down there. I don't know how to get the cursor down there. I can't use the directional pad because that's just changing the options in the pull down menu here. I want to see if maybe 0.04 works better, but I can't move the window up anymore to get to those OK buttons, so I can't save my changes. If I close it, options, configure, see, it's not saving, so I have no way to actually change the configuration. I don't remember having this problem with Android. Alright, let's go ahead and close it. Speakers made a weird noise again. It sounded kind of like robotic, like, it was really quiet. I don't know if the camera picked that up. Weird, whatever. Mame Emulator. I can't get any ROM to work with this thing. I put all kinds of different ROMs on there, different compilations of the ROM, or however you word it, and when I try to build the ROM list, the emulator can't find them. So, there's that. Yeah, so original Game Boy works just as good as the Game Boy Advance. Super Nintendo emulator works flawlessly. Atari emulator, I can't get it to find any ROMs. There's the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis emulator. That, again, I forgot to put ROMs on there. I'm assuming it's either going to work or doesn't work, like the 50-50 chance that we seem to have with the rest of the emulators here. And there's an IRC client in there if you wanted to. There's that changes the TV out settings when you get a TV out cable. And forget it. You know what? I really don't see the point. Honestly, I feel kind of disappointed. Been waiting 4 years for this thing, and really hasn't felt like it's worth the wait. I know that I'm not familiar with Linux, so I have to learn a whole new operating system, and I'm too old to learn new things. I'm too impatient. I like things I know, so yeah, I can't. Especially with the price tag, with the cost of the original and the upgrade, I paid about $650, almost $700 for this thing. When you can get a device that's a third of the price, like a Nexus 7, and have all these emulators on there, have what I feel is a much easier to use operating system. But again, I'm not the kind of power user that a Linux desktop is kind of aimed towards, so I'm probably not the target market for this thing. But I thought, even though I didn't like Linux, I thought maybe I could put some emulators on here and eventually get the TV out cable and hook it up to my TV, and it'd be like a portable multi-console system, and everything would be fine and dandy and sunshine. But no, I'm just left disappointed thinking about how much I paid for it and how much effort it's taken to get the emulators to work. On the plus side, the battery life is really nice. Battery life is still 74%, and I haven't charged it since I got the thing. That's a combination of good battery life, and it shows how much I've used it, just because I've given up in a rage fit and almost thrown it through the window. So yeah, if you want something that's full of emulators and can go on the internet and whatever, just get a Nexus 7, because it's a third of the price, even with the cost of the DualShock 3 controller that you could pair up to it and play all your games that way. You saw my Nexus 7 review. The emulators work very well, except, well, this gets a point because this actually plays Donkey Kong Country properly. This emulator for Super Nintendo still does not play Donkey Kong Country. It just does the black screen that's showed in the review, and it doesn't work. So this at least gets a point for that. It plays Donkey Kong Country. There you go. It plays Donkey Kong Country. And it's got all these buttons in the keyboard. So that's really all I could say. I've been holding off this review for a while because I wanted to have good things to say about it. I wanted to get it to work and have my patience tolerance grow and maybe come back to it, and you saw the dust I had to wipe off of it in the beginning of the video. So, well, let's see here. I got an idea. eBay.com. There we go. That'll do just fine.